Knowing if you're the right material for grad school comes down to kind of this multifaceted look at you as a person, what you want to achieve, your motivations, and other kind of really fundamental things like whether or not you're resilient enough. Now, the thing is that no one really knows if they're cut out to go to grad school right away. You may have an inkling, you may have a burning desire underneath to want to do more, but ultimately it is going to be the process of actually doing grad school that will determine whether or not it is the right move for you. I have known people who are like, yes, this is the right thing for me, absolutely fail. And on the other hand, I've known other people who didn't really do well in undergrad, but didn't really know what else to do, just flourish in the postgraduate environment because it is so very different from anything you would have experienced before in education and academia. And so in this video, I want to share with you the actual research and the characteristics they found about whether or not someone would be good or want to apply for graduate school, and also my experience in terms of what I've witnessed, my own journey, and how you can actually work out whether or not it's for you. There are a lot of people that get into grad school for the wrong reasons, and so here are all of the things I think you should really look for. The first thing that I think really sort of helps people understand whether or not grad school is for them is an underlying kind of desire to want to do more. I know that was for me. I know that my undergraduate left me unsatisfied in some way, because undergraduate for me was this kind of learning of facts and information then that I had to spill out into an exam. And I got really good at that, by the way. But importantly, I think grad school now is where you can really take on information and generate new knowledge as an independent researcher and academic. And I think that to me was something that really appealed to me. I wanted more. So if you're sat there at the moment in your undergraduate, or maybe you've even been in a career for a little bit, I can assure you that doing any sort of graduate studies will satisfy your intellectual curiosity much more. It's tough, it's challenging, but I certainly felt academically fulfilled once I entered my graduate programs. And so, yeah, maybe there's something inside you that just wants more. I found this awesome paper. Let's take a look. There is this one which says the educational orientation, personality traits and plans for grad school. So ultimately what it looked at was different people's sort of characteristics and whether or not they were thinking about applying to grad school. So if any of this really sort of like rings true for you, maybe grad school is right for you. One thing that I really liked is that students planning to attend graduate school reported greater participation in class discussions. So that's interesting. If you want to get more from your previous kind of education, maybe graduate school is a way to really help you delve deep. People who want to know more clearly are going to ask more questions in undergraduate classroom discussions. Interestingly here, graduate school hopefuls did report engaging in more work outside of the classroom. Now, once again, this comes down to this curiosity, like, I need to go deeper into this field. Graduate school will help you do that. Now, the important thing here, I think, is that there was only a marginally significant difference between the GPA between students with plans for graduate school and students planning to enter the workforce. So in this instance, do not worry if your GPA isn't like the best of the best. It really doesn't matter if you are clever or not when you're entering graduate school. In fact, I think sometimes people who have not done particularly well in their undergraduate, but just done enough to kind of get into grad school, sometimes flourish much more because they've done the stuff they don't like, which is exams. Now it's about sort of like that intellectual kind of drive to do work, which is more interesting. Now, this is really interesting to me. Students leaning towards graduate school scored higher on the learning orientation components rather than the grade orientation components than students who plan to work after college. Now, this is really important. Think about what really motivates you right now. Is it getting grades? Is it getting that A? Now, I know that's part of kind of everyone's journey. You want to get the best grades possible, but for you, is it like checking off a box? Yes, I have achieved a certain grade. Or is it that you're actually motivated by the stuff before that, the learning? I find learning incredibly fulfilling, and grad school is something that allows you to really satisfy that need to learn. So that could be a really good indicator for you. Do you actually get fulfilled by the learning, or is it the grades at the end that really fulfills you? Lastly, I think a really important thing is openness to experience. So this allows you to kind of think creatively. It's linked to divergent thinking and is a trait that would really benefit every graduate student. So if you are open to experience, if doing something new, something interesting, something sort of a little bit challenging is something for you, there's no doubt that graduate school can really help you. So if any of those particular sort of traits are bubbling up inside you, I would consider graduate school as a way to satisfy that curiosity. So there we are. Does that ring with you? But also, there are some things that you should definitely know, so stay tuned for the next ones. Another reason why people go into grad school is because they know they do not want the alternative. The alternative is getting a job. The alternative is going to a workforce or a career that just does not interest you. People that go into grad school do open up more doors for different careers. Now that's really important. I remember an old teacher of mine saying that further education just opens up more doors. It doesn't matter if you go back to a door that was open in the past, it just gives you more options. And so doing graduate studies means that you want to do it because you know what doors are open for you at the moment really doesn't satisfy you. It is not something you want to turn into a career. So if you've got that drive and that passion to do something else, graduate school is a perfect way to open up doors, more opportunities, more collaborations, more networking in different areas so that you can find fulfillment. So I think graduate school can be a fantastic portal for that. Now, look deep inside. Are you resilient? Are you resilient in all of the important ways? Firstly, are you resilient financially? Are you able to actually go through grad school and put up with the lack of earning for a significant number of years potentially? Are you resilient in terms of the student lifestyle you're about to sort of like go back into? Is that something that's actually interesting to you? Have you, if you're coming from like a work situation, have you actually considered the impact of becoming a student again will have on your lifestyle? Are you resilient in terms of your mental health? It is an incredibly tough time. Graduate school can push you to your limits because you are learning new information at an incredible rate, and you can start feeling like an imposter, like you don't understand what's going on, like you're overwhelmed and that everyone else seems to get it and you're the stupid one. So making sure that you have good mental health going in will really help you get through grad school. And lastly, are you resilient to failure? Are you resilient to people criticizing you, telling you you're wrong? Are you sort of even more resilient to your own failures, like you thinking you can do something and then finding out that your grade's rubbish or that your experiments don't work? That is a really good way of sort of determining whether or not you are made of the right stuff for grad school. Those are things that you can learn, by the way, and improve on. So if you are thinking about going into grad school, you can start to build up this idea of resilience across all of those different areas of where you really need to be resilient. Don't enter unless you're financially resilient. Don't enter unless you really understand the lifestyle changes that you're taking on. Do not enter if your mental health is bad, and do not enter if you are really sort of not resilient to criticism and feedback. Go check out my other video where I talk about how to deal with criticism in academia, because in my experience, that's one of the toughest things you need to get over and one of the biggest differences between undergraduate and postgraduate life. So be resilient and build up the skills before going into your grad studies, because that will really help you see it through to the end. So there we have it. There's everything you need to know about whether or not you're made of the right stuff for grad school. Let me know what you would add in the comments. And also, there's 2 ways you can get involved further with my stuff. Firstly, go check out my newsletter, which is completely free, exclusive content. You sign up at andrewstapleton.com.au/newsletter. When you sign up, you'll get 5 emails over about 2 weeks. Everything from the tools I use, the podcasts I've been on, how to write the perfect abstract, the perfect daily schedule, and more. And also, I've got my new project, project, academiainsider.com. That's where I help you make your PhD and academia work for you. It's got my 2 ebooks, the Ultimate Academic Writing Toolkit, as well as the PhD Survival Guide, and my Insider Forums. And I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to sneeze. It's hay fever time. No, I'm not going to sneeze. Perfect. See you in the next video.